All week we've been doing a series on the future of just about every business, including baseball. Like other pro sports, just getting back to playing was a big accomplishment. Now it's a matter of taking all those notes and figuring out the future game plan. Joining us with more perspective on that is Mark Shapiro, Toronto Blue Jays president and CEO. Mark, welcome back. Nice to have you with us.
Good to be with you, John. Thank you.
Last time I spoke to you, as you guys were preparing for the playoffs, you talked about the resilience of the team, the players specifically. I mean, you've been in this game of professional baseball upwards of 3 decades. Have you ever seen anything like that? I mean, it's hard to find new things after the stretch you've had, but what were the biggest takeaways this year?
Yeah, no, I think just like it's one time that all of us, every business, every sport, every geographic region, we're all suffering the same realities of uncertainty. I think that is what I would say is the magnitude of the uncertainty, figuring out what was going to happen day to day, and then I think the other thing purely from the team function and player perspective was the level of solitude that our players dealt with. We went from a team environment where everything was very communal to their existence, although not in the spotlight and not highlighted publicly, was one of isolation. One that went from the hotel room to an isolated locker room environment to the field and just playing the game. So it really was an exercise in perseverance and trying to put something back on the field for our fans and try to achieve some sense of normalcy.
It's interesting to hear you say that, and we all became familiar with watching teams like the Blue Jays play, and obviously it's a different stadium experience, and we've been talking a lot about that. I mean, what drives the business going forward? There are different layers to this, undoubtedly. Certainly, fans like to get back into the stands, but we haven't talked as much about how the business model includes things like, corporate boxes, luxury suites. There isn't a lot of business travel right now. So how are you thinking about the revenue dynamics of professional baseball?
Yeah, listen, I think what's happened is this has really sped up a lot of the challenges that we're facing as a sports industry, the fragmentation of the entertainment landscape, so much more entertainment, the different ways people consume sports, entertainment, and media. It's forced us to think about second screens. It's forced us to think about the in-stadium product. I guess what I would tell you is the first and most important aspect of being a successful sports franchise is winning. And so we're largely focused on putting a winning team on the field, and that can regress out a lot of the other issues you're dealing with. But all of the other areas that you're mentioning are important to the long-term resilience of the business and the strength of the brand. So when we think about our business product moving forward, it's thinking about an evolving in-stadium product. And I think another layer of that with health and safety just got added on to the already significant challenges of thinking about the product and how we distribute it to our fans.
Those are all big questions. I don't want to discount the fact, we do cover the stock market here, and sometimes you measure how successful something could be longer term based on a stock price. I don't have to tell you what the New York Mets just sold for. If you're going it off of valuations of teams for now, it seems like there is still a big group of people that are willing to bet long term on your sport.
Yeah, listen, when it comes to like the access to sports franchises, Major League Baseball franchises, there's 30 Major League Baseball franchises in the world. And so the valuation isn't necessarily framed on multiples that would be consistent with other businesses' valuations. So I think, the reality of the limited access to teams is going to always create, and the number of people who want to own a Major League team for a variety of reasons. Some because they love the sport, and it's kind of an extension of their existing businesses, and some as a platform for other businesses. But I think Major League Baseball franchise values remain healthy. John, the challenges we're seeing are year-to-year operational challenges, and we've had major hits to revenue and everything that goes with the in-stadium product, and that's going to obviously continue into next year. So it's going to be a multi-year challenge for the industry operationally. But I do think that it's a game that's existed for over a century and will continue to exist, and will have to evolve, but is going to be healthy in the long term.
To your point, I mean, you guys still don't quite know what the new season looks like, where you play. Obviously, you've been fielding questions, too, about stadium plans for the future, which, you know, when you start talking about that, these become very, very big issues. I guess if you're thinking about what is the priority outside of fielding a good team right now and doing that in the offseason, what are you going to be focusing on?
Well, I think what you said is first and foremost on my mind, and we're focused on the business of conducting an offseason that puts a winning team in the field and keeps our plan going. Secondarily, like you said, where we play, even when we play, is still somewhat fluid. So first and foremost, probably making sure health and safety is at the forefront, public health, that we're not jeopardizing or endangering any of our fans. Secondarily, that we're taking care of our players. It's not just 25 major league players, but it's over 200 minor league players and all the staff, that goes along with that. So it's a complex organization. I wake up day to day thinking about the 500 people that work for the Toronto Blue Jays and how can we keep them positive, mentally healthy, constructively engaged and working. But I think the most important business focus for us is going to be, where we play, how we do it safely, and then ensuring that we stay on chart and on path and on strategy for our plan on the field.
And then just on the future of the stadium, which is something you were fielding some questions on, can you just give us an update on what's going to be happening on that front?
With Rogers Center?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was something that, we clearly had to deal with just because of the age and the infrastructure and the reality that the building is not a modern entertainment, it doesn't facilitate a compelling entertainment product as far as diversity of opportunities for different types of fans. When the pandemic hit, all focus shifted off of that and went back to just, we need to be sure that we're doing the right things to keep the business healthy, and our owners' business healthy. So at some point we will resume. In the short term, in the interim, the focus has been doing things in the stadium that ensures that it's the best possible product, a new sound system, someday soon a new scoreboard. We're putting new turf on the field, new batting tunnels for our players. And then a piece of the business that not everyone up here is thinking about. We just completed the best training and rehabilitation center in all of Major League Baseball down in Dunedin, Florida. So that is a big, very important driver of our business, and we're moving into that right now as we speak, and that'll be up and running. So still a lot to do in the infrastructure and capital areas for us, but a new stadium is something that's on hold for now.
So a busy time for you. I guess we should just clarify in terms of you and your future. Any updates you can give us on that front?
Well, I'm still here. And as I've said in the past, I really prefer that, front office people are not the news. It's about the players. And what I'd say is this. It's a place I want to be, both the city and the country. It's been an honor to be here. And there's work left to be done. And I'm excited to dive in and attack that work. And I've enjoyed working for the people that I work for, and they've reciprocated that feeling. So everything's there to continue that relationship for the long term, and I expect to be here. And obviously, I think that probably signals all you need to know.
All right. Well, I guess on the plus side, since you are pretty busy thinking about talent on the field, we keep talking about this Canadian dollar gaining ground against the U.S. dollar. Maybe that gives you a little wiggle room over these next few weeks.
Yeah, I listened to that news this morning, and that is something that, as we think about, we do hedge, so that doesn't impact us day to day. But when we do think about the power and some of the challenges, in the unique challenge that the Blue Jays have to deal with, it is the reality of the Canadian dollar is something. We're one of 30 teams that faces that reality operationally. So if that trend continues, that's something that could be extremely meaningful for our business long term.
So many moving parts, an unprecedented year. We appreciate you shedding some light on it, Mark. Thanks a lot.
It's great to be with you. Happy, healthy holidays to everybody.
You as well, Mark Shapiro, Toronto Blue Jays president.